Alright guys, this video is going to be about my Honda, the cheapest K-swap on the internet probably. I don't know for sure, but I'm just going to go through what it looks like and how I did it and what parts I used, and at the end I'll probably write everything down, break it all down, show you guys what all it cost. So here's the car. It's got a K24 A4 in it. The motor and transmission came out of a 2004 Honda Accord. So here's the car that the swap came out of. As you can see, it's pretty well stripped down. We're just about ready to haul it off to get it crushed. But anyway, this was my daily driver car, and I got T-boned right here on the side, as you can see. So this is how we did this so cheap, partly, is having a whole car. We used the entire harness out of the bay, the harness from under the dash, which is why everything's taken apart on the inside here. We used the harness from under the dash. We used the harness that went back to the fuel pump. We used the regulator from the Honda pump. The K24 uses a returnless fuel system. The regulator is in the tank for the fuel system, so we salvaged that out of it. Alright, so I'll go over some details here. So this car did have LS VTEC in it before, with a B16 trans. This is a Civic SI. So I had to go buy an EG subframe. Got that from the junkyard. I bought the eBay knockoff mounts, the EKK2 mounts, and I'm really impressed with the quality of these mounts. And anyway, so here's this regulator out of the tank from the Accord. Got it just plumbed into my return line, so there's the regulator. We have the completely stock K-series accessory drive on it. As for the exhaust, this is a stock manifold from the A4. Also the stock elbow underneath that goes to the rest of the exhaust. The steering shaft would not work from the SI. I had to use the EG steering shaft, so I had to go back to the junkyard for that part. This here little motor mount thing here is from a CRV. I'm running stock RSX axles on both sides, no modification at all. I just went to O'Reilly's, bought RSX axles for both sides, and they work perfect. Another thing we're working on is cruise control. It's all hooked up, but it's not currently working. I gotta figure out the electrical side of it. So we're not using a conversion harness. I'm running 4 fuse boxes. I got one right here, the factory underhood fuse box for the Civic. I've got the one Accord one right here, factory Civic underdash fuse box. So there's the Accord underdash fuse box, and the whole thing is done without any tuning at all. I'm just running the stock Accord computer. So to do that, I have the factory Accord key right here in my center console. Start the engine with this key here. So then to unlock the steering wheel and turn on the body, like the headlights, blinker, stuff like that, and turn this key on. I'm using the Accord shifter. Just bolted it down in there. I had to cut a little bit of my console out here to make it fit, but I'm really happy with how that came out. I'm running the Accord cluster. As you can see, it doesn't fit very well, but it is what it is for now. I'm using my half-size radiator from the Civic. I just moved it to the other side. Let's see, what else? Oh, my clutch line. Here's my master cylinder. Let's see, where's the line? Okay, here's the line. Goes over here, over to here. Here's the rubber line. And then it goes to right here, down through there, up to here. It's my, I believe that whole line, the start to finish there, is from the Civic. Just a factory line. And I just bent it around to where it needed to go, and it works perfect. Compared to the LSV-Tech, I feel like it's quite a bit faster. For sure, just driving around town, this K24 is so much torquier. It just will pull up out of the hole a lot better, whereas the LSV-Tech, you really had to wring its neck to get the power. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. The biggest thing I'm working on is I got to get the AC hooked up and power steering. That's another thing we're working on. So I just have the lines plugged right here, but we're working on figuring out how to set that up. Another thing that's wrong with this car, has nothing to do with the swap, is there's the heater hose lines, and the heater core in the car is broken. I gotta pull the dash out of it and take the heater core out of it and replace that heater core. Alrighty, so here's a breakdown price list of what all we spent. So up here at the top, this is all stuff that I sold, that I made money on. So you can see that I sold the entire swap out of the car. It was the engine, trans, harness, ECU, the whole thing for $800 with a blown head gasket. It was LSV-Tech B16 trans. So I got $800 for that. Parts I sold off the Accord, I sold the headlights, I sold the taillights, the hood, the front bumper, the catalytic converter, the wheels. So this is kind of just estimating because it's been a while since I sold all that stuff, but I think it was somewhere around $350. And then I scrapped the car, and I know that was right around $100 for that. They gave me $80 per ton for it, so I think it was somewhere around 2,200 pounds. I can't remember for sure, but I think it was something like that. So the total parts that I sold and made money on was $12.50. And then the second section here is actually what I had to buy for the car. So I got the eBay mounts. They cost me $2.19. I got the subframe, the steering coupler, the rack and pinion. I got all that from You Pull and Pay in Albuquerque here. And then the RSX axles, I got those new from AutoZone. So you can see those cost me a little under 70 bucks a piece, and they fit perfect. Haven't had a single issue with them. I spent quite a bit of time like at the junkyard trying to figure out what was gonna fit and all that, and I finally figured out that these RSX axles work, so I just went and bought them, and that's definitely what I would recommend. If I ever do this again, that's what I'll do. Just go straight to AutoZone and get them new. Way less hassle than trying to get them from a junkyard and all that. So anyway, then I had to buy a half shaft, either from an RSX or a CRV. I got on carpart.com and I found this half shaft for, I think he was selling it for $80, and then $10 for shipping. So I got that for 90 bucks. And then I had to get the CRV right engine mount bracket, the little bracket that bolts on the front of the engine that the EKK2 mounts bolt to. So I found that at You Pull and Pay here in Albuquerque. So that cost me $8, and so the total that I spent on parts was just under $5.50. We can probably round that up to $600, just miscellaneous things I got, like hose clamps. I don't know for sure what all I got, but I'm sure there's some little stuff I'm forgetting. The Accord, I'm estimating the value of it to be around $500, a wrecked Accord. What I'd like to do yet to the car, well, eventually I want to go turbo, but for now, before I go turbo, I want to figure out a conversion harness for it so that I can get rid of the two Accord fuse boxes that I have. So I want to eliminate those, and I want to put my SI cluster back in. If anybody has ideas on how to do that, I've got the Accord engine harness and the Accord ECU, and I'm wanting to run K-tuner. So if anybody has suggestions or has some wiring diagrams on how to make a conversion harness for that setup, definitely let me know. So thanks for watching.